We begin with China, where foreign trade continued to fall in October. Exports dropped 0.9% compared to the year before, while imports plunged 6.4%. Even worse, trade with the US is down almost 16%. Now that in the midst of an ongoing trade war between the world's two biggest economies, and it's unclear if there's an end in sight, one day after China announced an agreement between the two governments to roll back trade tariffs. Reports are out about opposition from the White House. And while I'm clearing my throat, I'm happy to welcome my colleague Chelsea Delaney in Frankfurt, Germany's financial hub, to find out more about this latest tariff truce. Is it going to happen? The White House doesn't seem to be too happy about it.
I think the mood among investors, among trade analysts, is certainly confusion today. By the end of the day yesterday, the comments from the White House were contradicting not only China's announcement, but also each other. One of the comments that's getting a lot of attention today is the announcement from Peter Navarro, a top trade advisor, who said the tariffs are not on the table for taking them out of the agreement, and that this is wishful thinking. So I think there's a lot of confusion and also more caution among investors, because if the U.S. does take tariffs off the table, how are they going to sort of get China to agree on some of these larger issues that aren't on the table right now? So I think investors are becoming more cautious, and we're seeing that reflected in a mixed reaction in markets today.
Does this mean we're back to square one?
I don't think it means we're back to square one. I think it means we're back where we were a week ago. This agreement was initially announced in October, and the U.S. and China have made concrete steps towards reaching a final deal here. That China has made some concessions on agricultural purchases. They've indicated they're willing to move on intellectual property protections, but I think sort of the noise around this tariff reduction is definitely going to create some confusion. It certainly has over the past couple of days, but they are moving towards a deal, and they're also under an increasing amount of pressure to strike a deal. Both the U.S. and Chinese economies have been slowing a lot, and especially if you consider that it's going to be an election year next year for Donald Trump, they both want to reach a deal, but there's still a lot of questions, not only about what would be in a phase one deal, but what would happen after that when they're supposed to address some of the bigger issues. So they still have a long way to go before we really make succinct progress.
All right, Chelsea Delaney there. Thank you so much for this.